ladies and gentlemen. It's Sports First Podcast, number one in sports, and I'm your host, as always, Sabotage. Today we're going to be looking at not the Eastern Conference, actually, let's do the Western Conference. It's a little bit tougher. Um, Pretty much look at the picture of the playoffs, or just pretty much who's going to make, or discuss somewhat of it early, or well, actually, it's mid-season or a little bit past mid-season. Um, it's January 28th to be exact, Mike. So we also got the play-in. So technically, right now, this is what it's looking like. With all these teams, I guess every other team is 2 games away. Let's show you the whole of the 15. Even the Rockets and the miserable Thunders have a chance. I mean, the Rockets had a 7-game win streak this season in some crazy way. They're 14-34 with a pretty good young up and coming team. Hopefully, with Coach Shea. Maybe that team will work out. Maybe Coach Salas will get fired by the time that it's next season or before it's next season. Who knows? Maybe he becomes one of the great coaches. Who knows? Still kind of early to see where things go. They got KPG or Kevin Powder. They got Jalen Green looking like a stud. Actually, I could have easily made the video on the rookies, but I decided today was more playoff talk since I really haven't done too much of NBA anyways. It's more been NFL. But yeah, let's get to the main topic. Just pretty much who has the best chance of getting in the West. Like I said, none of these teams are too far from getting in or going out. With the Rockets, the Lakers having their problems, Trailblazers having their issues. Spurs are actually a team that's together. They're just not. I don't believe they're just yet. They're not modern or modernized, as in Pop with his kind of. He still hasn't fully committed to the 3-point game, but I feel like he did, and then he went away from it when they made that trade. Was it Brent Forbes? I think it was Brent Forbes to Denver Nuggets. I'm like 1,000% sure it was Brent Forbes. But yeah, that trade happened and they sent away one of their top 3 shooters. They also got rid of Patty Mills, but Walker and Lonnie Walker and who's the other one? Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson. They're not too bad at the 3, but Patty Mills and them were like on an elite level. I don't know if they really. I can't put me mind on it if they had another legit 3-point guy. I don't think they do. But yeah, you would think they'd be in. Maybe they get better, but I don't know. They still also got who is it? Not Deion. I was trying to get the Suns player Fox and Murray. I always get those two mixed up. They're both number 5s. But yeah, Murray. They also got Murray too, as in number 5 on jerseys, not number 5 as in a position. But they also got him. They got a pretty good team. Just that 3-point area there. I would actually have to look at the stats and all that, see where they're at in that category. But it's a pop team. So yeah, if they can figure that out, and Kings they got a lot of good players too. But with all these teams, they obviously all got good players. Pelicans, Zion's missing. With the Trailblazers, Anthony Simons has been blown up. He's on his glow up as of late. He started playing he was already pretty good. We all kind of knew he was pretty good, Former dunk contest winner, last year's dunk contest winner. Even though that dunk contest was kind of weak because just the way they did it and all. But yeah, with Simons, CJ McCollum's back. There's another player. Was it Rodney Hood? No, not Rodney Hood. One player. Let's just click on the bio. Just get the players out of it. There's one specific player, not Larry Nance. Ben McLemore is somewhat of a good addition, but he's on a different team every other every other half midseason or whatever. He's with the Lakers. He was with the Houston Rockets for sure. Um, Powell. Norman Powell, man. He was killing it for Toronto last year, but I thought he was a good addition. But Gary Trent Jr. was actually really good. I mean, he's actually still doing pretty good for them bars up and down Toronto. Toronto's is pretty much a little project on their own, but Nasir Little pretty good. Cody's he's on and off on the field, but Nurkic is a beast, that's for sure. But all around, you'd expect them to be a little better too. But that's McCollum was out for a little bit. Dame was out for a little bit. Dame's actually out for 6 weeks. But these top teams for sure are gonna make it. Obviously, they're gonna make it. I feel like the top 6 are not gonna miss the play. There's no way unless Jokic actually gets an injury, and then they would start going on a losing streak. Still there. None of these records, other than the top 4 or 5, are not the greatest. I mean, Mavericks got their pretty good team. I mean, even though they lost Hardaway to a foot injury, I don't know how long he's going to be out for right now. Clippers, surprisingly, they're at that 7th with no Paul George, who's probably going to have some surgery or something going on. Yeah, they haven't decided yet. And Kawhi, he's pretty much still recovering. Could end up missing the rest of the season. For 100% sure, these 3 are going to make the playoffs no matter. Actually, these 4, I would say 100% are going to make the playoffs. Because the Jazz are still pretty decent, even without, Spidey Mitch. But in some crazy way, these 2 could actually, some crazy way, these 2 could actually get out. I don't see it happening, but it could happen. Then the situation with the Lakers, the Lakers, Anthony Davis has been out for a while. He comes back, and yesterday I saw from the game, he actually looked pretty good. And the game, I'm not sure if he came back the game before, but he was actually looking pretty good with that break, He wasn't doing too good before the break, so I don't know if he had a couple of injuries before that or whatever, but he was actually looking really nice yesterday. Then Timberwolves, I don't know how the Timberwolves miss. If out of all these teams, I would say the Clippers and Nuggets have a higher chance than most. Even Lakers, to be honest, they're just not, unless that connection just, completely gets together and they start playing really good ball all together. LeBron isn't playing too bad. Malik Monk isn't playing too bad. Westbrook is, as most of y'all know, just isn't what everybody thought he would be. I mean, most people didn't think he was going to be that good anyways with the Lakers. Probably should have taken that Buddy Hield situation. Probably end up even. The thing is, if Davis wasn't out, I'm sure the Lakers would be a top 4 team, if not higher. But that's pretty much where I stand with the playoffs. It's still too early, so I'm going to say right now that Clippers get out and the Lakers get in, and that's the alarm I set for that specific time. But I'm going to say, man, it's hard, but I'm going to go ahead and say Clippers out, Lakers back in that 8 or 7 spot, and this is how the playoffs could actually look, or the playoff spots. But then again, if something happens, I could see Spurs getting in, and maybe Nuggets and Clippers both getting out, or the Mavericks some crazy. I mean, if the Jazz lose another player, Donovan Mitchell's going to be back. Mike Conley's on and off too, and they're still doing good. So that's the thing. That's why I have a hard time believing that any of these teams, with the Grizzlies killing it, it's still technical. It's been like 6-7 games past midseason. So that's going to be it. I mean, it's kind of easy to determine that these 2 teams are not going to make it. 13 teams technically, okay, maybe 12 teams are technically still in, but maybe Kings could find a way. That would be crazy. I I've been saying a lot of good about them, but just hasn't worked out. I mean, they got good players. I feel like maybe it's the coaching, but I don't know. They've changed the coach. We'll see what happens there. Sabotage.